Neither a curse nor a coincidence. But every year, someone dies. What should we make of that, then? Tomoitake-san, catching on to the fact that I had no idea what to make of it, opened his mouth and came to my aid. Takano-san is suggesting that it might be the work of real people. Eh? Simple process of elimination would have gotten me there. I was a little taken aback at not having realized the answer immediately. Well, think about it. If it's neither a curse nor a coincidence, then people must be willingly carrying it out. It's the only explanation, right? Pressed Takano-san. I smiled. Bitterly in spite of myself. Ugh. Here I was just a few minutes ago thinking the very concept of a curse was absolutely... Oh, the bumpers do that! Okay. I was just moving the controller out of the way so I can rotate the chair. Ugh. Try to get in a more comfortable position. So I'm not too far away from the mic, but at the same time... Okay. Here I was just a few minutes ago thinking the very concept of a curse was absolutely absurd. When she suggested it was someone's doing, I ended up thinking... There wasn't any way it could be a person. But Takano-san was right. It was either a curse or it was a person's doing. If unrealistic things like curses didn't exist, then the obvious next step would be to start thinking it was people behind it. Man! Man! That, I don't remember. It's a joke. The most evil of creatures on this planet, mankind. But if that was the case, I glanced at Shion. If the culprit is a person, then they'd have to be someone from Hinamizawa. Wait, is that me or her? No, I think it's her talking.
If the culprit is a person, then then they'd have to be someone from Hinamizawa. That's what the police officer Oishi-san thinks right now, too.
Hey, wait. That can't be. I thought I now knew the reason Mion didn't want to talk about this. If Oyashiro-sama's curse really existed, then that's fine. Really? That's fine? It'd be divine judgment for the dam project business. I feel like that's still not exactly fine, but okay. However, if Oyashiro-sama... No offense, Oyashiro-sama! No offense. No offense. No offense meant, I swear. Curses are fine. I take back what I said. Curses are cool. We support curses here. Yeah. Whoa! Yeah! Don't hurt me, please. However, Oyashiro-sama's curse didn't exist, which... It obviously didn't. That's not me. That's Kaiichi saying it. I swear. Then the culprit would most likely be someone from Hinamizawa. The villagers had worked desperately to oppose the dam construction project. I knew they had used all sorts of methods to fight against it. If one of those methods was... Maybe. I didn't even click on that. The maybe just popped up.
People whisper that Oyashiro-sama's curse could be the doing of a secret group in the dam resistance movement.
Shion dryly put words to my exact thoughts. Of course I didn't expect it. The fuck? Did I hear something thump? Thump, thunk? Hello? As far as I know, I'm alone in the house. Ooh. Maybe it was a... Birds tend to run into windows now at this time of day. Jesus Christ. Of course I didn't expect it. She was from Hinamizawa, so I didn't think she'd come out and say it herself.
If you calm down and think about it, anyone would come to the same conclusion. There wouldn't be a motive for anyone but people who benefit from opposing the dam project, right?
I guess that's true. Admitting to the existence of a darker side of the dam conflict would be rude to Mion, who spoke of it so highly. So I couldn't just accept Shion's seemingly logical viewpoint. Wait. So I couldn't just accept Shion's seemingly... Okay. My brain wasn't clicking, especially... Damn twins! So I couldn't just accept Shion's seemingly logical viewpoint.
One more thing. The police probably don't know this.
That's great. Creepy music again.
There's proof that someone from Hinamizawa committed these crimes and the people of Hinamizawa know it.
What? Shion rebukes me to keep my voice down. Sorry, but this proof, what is it?
It's the fact that one more person dies and one more person disappears.
One more person disappears? Did that mean that someone besides the one who died from the curse was a sacrifice? What do you mean by disappear? They just vanish and you'd never see them again? They're ghosted. No, wait. Spirited away. That was what I was trying to... That's different from ghosting.
That's right. Suddenly without a trace.
She spoke Shion, pretended to do a trick with her hands like she was making a magician's hat disappear. Silly girl. One dies a mysterious death and one disappears never to be seen again. Strange vanishing act. But then why? How does that equate to someone from from Hinamizawa being the culprit?
Well, actually, Hinamizawa has this one really old legend. It's about how people offer sacrifices to Oyashiro-sama to calm his wrath.
Sacrifices?
Yes. They say they used to wrap a living person up in a bamboo mat and let them slowly sink down into a bottomless swamp.
That's different from what we got in. Takano-san, though explaining something pretty terrible, has a look of glee on her face if she did so. Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
As far as I can glean from the literature, it actually took 3 days and 3 nights for them to sink. See, even people a long time ago liked symbolism. Sabari-san, Oyashiro-sama's anger would be quelled. Both were submerged into the deep.
Takano-san was the only one laughing at this. She telling you a joke or some? Shion didn't move to deny it, but I felt a difference in temperature between her cool expression and Takano-san's. This whole conversation, well, I think...
This whole conversation, well, I think you can imagine after hearing it, but it's the secret history of Hinamizawa. Everyone who has been in Hinamizawa for a long time knows it, but they don't talk about it.
Takano-san's not from here, but she knows quite a lot. Really? I thought she was from here. She really likes local history, folk legends, stuff like that. I know he wasn't, but I thought she was from here too. Was she? Am I misremembering? Or did they change the story around? She really likes local history, stuff like that. She learned about it all by herself too.
I'm really not all that amazing. Just curious, that's all. Like a child. I just want to see scary things for the fun of it.
Tomitaka-san laughed a little embarrassed. Well, wait a minute. What does that mean? The person who disappears during the incidents. You're saying they're offered as a sacrifice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shion answers in one word before anyone else can speak. Someone dies, then someone disappears. Why would you? So blatant and quick. Well, whether they actually got sacrificed or not is a different issue. But every time something happened in the past, one person died and one other person disappeared. For example, the first one where the dam site manager was killed, apparently one of the people responsible for that still hasn't been arrested. Oh. my. Couldn't that just mean he managed to get away? I don't see why we should treat him as a sacrifice.
Well, that's basically what I think too. There was also the year after that with the leader of the dam proponents.
Or you said he fell from a cliff and died while on vacation, right?
Apparently his wife fell.
Oh, that's Shion.
Apparently his wife fell as well. The police investigated fervently, but they were never able to find the wife's corpse. The river under the cliff was actually pretty high at the time, though. She could have just been buried under the sand at the bottom of some lake downstream or something.
That might have been Tomatake then. Whoops. Perpetrator of a dismemberment like that wouldn't want to be caught, so they'd be desperate to run away and hide too. I thought I heard about cases where the corpse wouldn't surface after the person drowned in a swelled river like that. Oh crap, it's almost been an hour. She vanished because of an unfortunate accident, but I still didn't see the connection to sacrifices. If you took each of the past incidents to turn, none of the disappearances evoked that terrifying of an image.
The year after that, with the priest suddenly falling ill and dying, is much clearer. His wife left a suicide note. They found it at their house the night the priest died. It had something along the lines of her quelling Oshiro-sama's wrath through her death.
Curses seem to turn up in this one, though.
Well, we may never know the truth of the matter. Swamp the wife drowned herself in was the giant bottomless one Takano mentioned before. Police investigated, but all they could find were several of her possessions. They never found the corpse.
Weird.
Police suspect it was a faked suicide, and they are still investigating it right now.
Someone dies every year, and in the same way, someone goes missing every year. She's trying to tell me that everyone who vanishes was kidnapped by some extremely efficient means and dumped into the bottomless swamp, still alive and drowned to death. But a curse! That's unbelievable in its own right. The next year, what was it? The damn proponent's sister-in-law? She was killed? In the same way someone
Disappeared. It was a boy around my age named Satoshi Hojo. He's the nephew by marriage of the woman killed.
Shion cut in with a slightly strong tone of voice. She knew the boy who had disappeared pretty well. At least that's the vibe I was getting. Yeah, she's looking a little more serious than she usually does.
Well, that about sums everything up. One person always dies and one person always suddenly disappears, leaving the suddenness aside. The fact was that each incident involved one person disappearing.
So that means the first person who dies is because of Oyashiro's... My apologies! Don't hurt me, Oyashiro! I didn't mean to trip on your name! Oyashiro-sama's curse! And the second person who vanishes because the villagers sacrificed them. Is that it?
Kai-chan, there is no curse. Somebody kills the first person under the guise of the curse, and someone takes away the second person to be a sacrifice.
But Shion, that means the criminal's in the village.
That's what I've been guessing from the start. It's pretty shocking, though, you know. We live in the Showa period. It's kinda hard to believe people are committing murders like it's nothing, using some ancient justification, huh?
Didn't have anything to do with our discussion, but I got the feeling that maybe Shion didn't like Hinamizawa very much. I guess that would explain things. Why, I don't know, maybe why we didn't see her in the first game? But also why she's kind of been on the outskirts of Hinamizawa, right? That's like her uncle's place she works at isn't in Hinamizawa, I believe. It's like on the outskirts in another town or something, maybe? I can't remember. Yan enjoyed talking about Hinamizawa and its epic tales. So she had avoided talking about Oyashiro-sama's curse, which didn't paint Hinamizawa in a good light no matter how you looked at it. She was trying not to give me a bad impression of the village, so she didn't say anything. Shion, on the other hand, was somehow different. She wasn't rejecting the concept of a curse to purge Hinamizawa with this bad impression, but rather because she strongly believed that a member of the village was the criminal behind this. Her conviction seemed a bit removed from the tight sense of community held by the people of Hinamizawa. Wait a minute. No, it wasn't. When she saved us from those bikers, people swarmed around her, which is even weirder that she... Wait a minute. That makes things even more weirder, because people just appeared out of nowhere to help Shion help us. So why is she against Hinamizawa? That's weird. Her conviction seemed a bit removed from the tight sense of community held by the people of Hinamizawa. Whoops. That might have been the mouse's fault. It's been a little funky lately. Like it's registering 2 clicks. Once upon a time, they looked so alike you could mistake one for the other. But talking to her now, I was getting a powerful feeling that Shion had a completely different personality than Mion. Than everyone else. They all think someone from Hinamizawa did it, right? Neither Shion nor Takano-san answered that. The deafening silence told me all that needed to be said. Then, let me ask another question. If someone from Hinamizawa is the culprit, then who is it? Neither Shion nor Takano-san had a reply to that question either. Though it may have been rude to ask, I had hoped they wouldn't have one. Wait, what? Though it may have been rude to ask, I had hoped they wouldn't have one. He had hoped they didn't have an answer? What? The reason I asked was to argue that their explanation that the culprit was from Hinamizawa is nothing more than one possibility. Shion caught on to my plan. She gave a pained smile at my petty spite and opened her mouth to speak.
All I said really just amounts to circumstantial evidence anyway. If any of us knew who it really was, we'd have gotten them into police hands already.
As would anybody. Then what about Takano-san? She too smiled dryly as she unhead and opened her own mouth.
Well, I'd like to clear one thing up. I'm not a detective or anything, all right? In all honesty, I'm not really interested in who the culprit is.
Oh, Takano-san, you sure are a handful.
That is weird that she just changed her tune. She's been all excited about this, and now she's tight-lipped. Tomoitake-san gives a bitter laugh at her surprising opinion on the matter.
You see, I just like cruel and atrocious ancient traditions and fairy tales. I only enjoy them from a curious onlooker's perspective.
So even for this
string of incidents, it's not so much finding out who the culprit is, but enjoying thinking about how the old traditions displayed by the incidents themselves still seem to have some pretty deep roots around them. Here.
Though she described herself as nothing more than a curious onlooker, her smile was as sharp as the tip of a blade. Women like her felt very strange and a little scary to me. Maybe it's just what I was in fearful awe of, the person whose emotions I couldn't comprehend.
Well, I didn't think any of this is interesting at all. The Watanagashi Festival is coming up tomorrow, but I don't want anyone to die or disappear.
Tomorrow, huh? Right, and didn't we... not to spoil stuff, go watch the playthrough. Why are you skipping around? Stop it! Kidding. But didn't we also deduce that, which is probably why Shion buttoned up, the most likely answer would be one of the eldest members of the community, which would be... I'm not gonna say anything. If you know, you know. There's two options there. Sippy sip. Tomorrow, huh? That's right. It completely slipped my mind. The string of murder incidents people attributed to Oyashiro-sama's curse, it wasn't over. If last year's incident wasn't the end, then tomorrow night at the festival, would someone die and someone disappear?
I do wonder who will die tomorrow and who will disappear, though.
You're gonna jinx yourself, lady, Takano-san said, running a comb through her hair with elegant movements, with a thin smile and a voice that nearly made me shudder. She almost looked like she was enjoying the thought of the incidents that could happen tomorrow. Then out of the blue, we heard a loud round of applause. They seemed to be ending the drinking party early. Right, I was making Mion wait this whole time, wasn't I? I should go back to her soon.
You're teasing the kid too much, Takano-san. Nakaichi-kun thinks it's all true.
I apologize. It's that bad habit of mine again.
Said Takano-san, sticking out her tongue bashfully. The strangeness in her expression was nowhere to be found.
Takano-san sees an innocent child like you, she can't help wanting to poke fun at them. It's a real bad habit. Kaichi-kun, you listen to everything so earnestly that she ended up getting carried away.
Like Takano-san, Tomitaki-san seemed like a totally normal person with common sense. They were apologizing after realizing what kind of impression they'd given me.
Stuff Takano-san just said is all fiction. If it made you harbor any bad impressions about Hinamizawa, then we apologize for that.
Jeez. Wait.
Jeez, Jiro-san.
You apologize too, Takano-san. Tell him you're sorry for scaring him.
Takano-san and Tomitaki-san were arguing and messing around now. Strained air around us had already dissipated.
Kai-chan, you should get going soon too. Mion is the jealous type. If she sees me, she'll probably start a fight, so I'll just be going home.
Really? Then I'll go see what Mion's doing and apologize for making her wait, I guess. Why can't all three of us just hang out together like friends do?
Sorry for being such a nuisance, Kaichi-kun. Could you tell Mion-chan we're sorry for bothering you for so long?
Yes, I don't think telling her will make her feel any better, but sure. Tomitaka-san and Takano-san, standing next to each other, both began to chuckle.
Okay then, Kai-chan. Let's try and run into each other at tomorrow's festival.
We'll see each other. I mean, it's us we're talking about after all. We'll be making so much trouble, it'll be hard for you not to find us. Do we get to see them in kimonos? I can't remember if they did that in the first game. If we saw Mion and them in the kimonos. I don't remember. I don't know why I can't remember. She and I said our goodbyes to Tomitaki-san and Takano-san. Before we could leave, Takano-san called out to us.
Thanks for listening so earnestly to what I had to say. You're just so good at listening. I had a great time talking to you.
Good at listening? No, not at all. I was just in a state of perpetual bewilderment from all the shocking topics being thrown at me one after another.
Did you like my story today?
Well, it was pretty interesting.
Then I'll tell you some more sometime, okay? There's a lot of pretty interesting legends and fairy tales about Hinamizawa. Of course, a lot of strange and creepy ones, too. I'll choose a bunch of my favorites and tell you about them.
Kind of happy, but kind of worried. Can't help but smile dryly and scratch at my head.
Kaichi-kun, you can go now. Takano-san's just messing with you.
Say goodbye again and run off. Heard Tomitaki-san call out behind him in a clear voice that we would see each other at the festival tomorrow. When I went to the tent Mion was waiting for me in, she was nowhere to be found. Oh, that's sad. Or maybe... was she creeping around, maybe? I made her wait so long, maybe she got mad and went home. After asking some adults passing by, I heard that she went home talking to some relatives. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But my regret for having made Mion wait wasn't enough to triumph over the impression Takano-san and Shion's uncanny story left on me. No, it's nighttime! No! Serial murder incidents had happened 4 years in a row. Would tomorrow's events make this the 5th? And the possibility that someone from Hinamizawa was carrying this all out under the guise of the curse. The queer tradition of ritual sacrifice, entirely unbecoming of the Showa period we lived in. I regret it a little, though it was too late. If none of those creepy stories had anything to do with me, then I should have let Mion pull me away from that crowd. I felt a little ashamed about letting my cheap curiosity get the better of me. Why are we walking at night? Okay, good. I was like, something gonna happen? Or on a nicer note, maybe we bump into Mion, that one, the one we abandoned. Scrapbook 1, 2, 3 festival around the. Jeez, that's a lot of tips. That's a lot of tips. That's a lot of tips. Little elbow grease help. Set up for the festival. Just to get a glimpse of them. You all tips. How many do we have so far? Ooh, okay, not too many.
Yeah.
They don't move.
Oh. Hee Ah. Oh. Hee
Cheeky little vixen. Alright, so yeah. That was interesting and fun and stuff. Even if we've already basically seen that from the first game, it's still interesting to see how they twist the story and stuff. And with more new characters and stuff too, with Shion and everything, how different the dynamic can be. It's very interesting. But yes, end of chapter 6. What will happen at the festival tomorrow? Reina. Probably not good things. Well, okay. Good things at first, but then probably not so good things. So yeah. But that was all for now. It's been well over an hour at this point. So, anyways, yes. That ends this episode. These episodes, most likely. Unless people want to see longer episodes. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tale. And I hope you have a lovely day and or evening. And look forward to more. And until next time, whatever it is I may do, I hope to see you then. Farewell.